Welcome to Pure Beast Fitness, where I try to keep this health and fitness lifestyle simple. Today I'm going to be talking about why I choose to focus on ingredients in food versus counting calories. And by ingredients in food, I'm basically referring to processed food. The reason I'm choosing to do this video is because a lot of people have asked me how much calories do I take in daily. If I keep track of my calories, they've asked me for recommendation on the amount of calories that they should be consuming, I guess for maintenance, for weight loss, and for different goals that they have fitness-wise or related to their physique. So the reason I don't focus on ingredients, the reason I focus on ingredients instead of calories is because it is hard to consume excessive calories when you eat unprocessed food without harmful ingredients. And you can imagine if you sat down and you were eating a bunch of, let's say, organic food, let's say vegetable, fruits, your healthy carbs, I guess your starches, it is going to be hard for you to consume enough of those to basically go to the point where you're consuming an excessive amount of calories, whether it's due to the fiber in these foods or the water in it. You're going to actually feel full before you even run up your calories. So processed ingredients are not always included in your calorie count when you're looking at the nutritional label. And this is very important because some of the calories that are not included are the ones that actually affect your physique the most. So I'll give you an example. Sodium. Hopefully we all know that sodium causes water retention. However, sodium is not included in the calorie count when you look on the side of the label. Another ingredient, I'm not going to run through the whole list of them in this video because it will be too long, but another ingredient would be something along the line of maltodextrin. So different people have different reactions to maltodextrin, but for the most part, maltodextrin actually causes a blood sugar spike. Now we all know when you're spiking your blood sugar, that's going to lead to fat storage. So here it is, you might be reducing your calories, or it's fat storage around your stomach area. So you're reducing your calories because let's say you're trying to lose weight or whatnot, you have a particular goal you're going to, and then you're consuming, let's say, a bunch of food with these type of ingredients, let's say maltodextrin, like I just mentioned. So you're coming down, but for whatever reason your stomach is not coming down. You're dropping all the weight on the scale, but it's like you're still not obtaining the physique that you actually want to obtain. So that was just a little example for that. And next thing I've noticed is people who focus on calories are typically consuming foods that are, not nutrient dense, or the food is lacking in nutritional content. So I'll give you an example. I have some friends who do fasting, and they would frequently tell me about, the benefits of fasting. I'm not against fasting. They would tell me the benefits of fasting where they're not consuming calories between this time frame and this particular time frame. So at the end of the day, they're consuming less calories. However, during their, I guess, window of opportunity, or their eating window, they're consuming stuff like pizza. They're still drinking excessive amount of alcohol. They're eating French fries, and they're eating a bunch of sugary food. So here it is, you're restricting your calories so that you could lose weight. But in the process of restricting your calories, you still end up starving yourself, because you're still lacking in nutrients that you need for your body to actually function properly. The other reason why I choose to focus on ingredients versus calories is because ingredients in food is actually what's causing most of our chronic illnesses, not the calories. An example of that would be excessive sugar consumption. Of course, that leads to diabetes. Excessive sodium consumption, that leads to hypertension. And these processed oil actually gives you gut issues. So here it is, you're reducing your calories so that you could obtain whatever amount of pounds that you're trying to get immediately. But in the long run, because those calories that you do decide to consume has all this junk in it, you're still setting yourself up for health issues at some point. So here's some things to keep in mind. Just because you're cooking something at home, that doesn't mean that it's healthy. You have more control over the ingredients that you put in it. That's the plus. Now, you don't want to cook something at home and add in the same ingredients that you would typically get out, let's say in the street, or from eating a fast food or some processed food or otherwise. It's basically the same. It's still harmful for you. To give you an example, let's say you decide to make some type of healthy pastry at home, if there is even that. And then at home, you still decide to overload whatever it is with sugar, or you decide to overload it with sodium, or you decide to deep fry it, which is basically processed oil. So even if you have good oil, you deep fry it, it's still processed oil. So you're essentially turning your good food bad. You also want to watch out for ingredients that are in food that we typically market as healthy. And of course, some of the ingredients you might want to look for are the artificial sweeteners. You have the preservatives, these are all in healthy food, and of course the dyes. You also want to remember that our body reacts different people react different to these chemicals, and in different amount. To give you an example, younger folks can consume food with all of these ingredients, and for the most part, as long as they stay moderately active, they're not going to have any, let me not say have any issues, it's not going to show up on them. There are kids where it's actually showing up on them, but for the most part, it's not going to show up on them. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful that you're not taking advice. You're an older person taking advice from a younger person on what chemicals to actually allow into your body, what ingredients to allow, because it's not going to work the same for an older person versus someone who's actually younger. Some people also have an exaggerated response to some of the ingredients in this food. So I might not necessarily react that crazy to something like maltodextrin. However, somebody else might have, I don't know, let's say in a week, they might probably notice like a change in their waistline. Maybe the stomach start growing, expanding, bloating, something along those lines. When it comes to dieting and ingredients, it's best for you, when it comes to dieting and ingredients, it's best to get advice or guidance from a licensed nutritionist or a doctor. The people that you don't want to take advice from is the gym bros, and you don't want to be taking advice from the influencers, and you definitely don't want to let your eating be guided by some type of app, because you need someone to factor in all of the other things that actually comes with consuming these ingredients and taking up certain diets. So you want to keep in mind that if you're trying to lose weight, you don't want someone to just be guiding you strictly on weight loss, because you don't want to come down and increase your chances of getting sick. So a licensed nutritionist or a doctor is actually going to guide you in a proper way to eat, so that when you do come down in weight or you change your physique, you're actually doing it healthy, and you minimize your risk of some health complications in the long run. So that's all the advice that I have today. If you have anything that you want to share, anything that I may have missed, feel free to comment, and of course subscribe if you want more advice.